Good evening, everyone. Today, Ms.Brummel and myself, Ms.Persaud, will present our Bloom's Taxonomy while delivering a lesson. Alright, teaching what? Learning what? Climbing up the ladder of Bloom's Taxonomy, this is what we'll be doing today. Then we have an icebreaker. Think of a lesson you taught last week. Which Bloom's Taxonomy were you mostly teaching at? Which level did you not touch on at all? This is when you reflect on all the lessons you have. The lesson topic. Applying Bloom's taxonomy to create effective and engaging lesson plans that promotes higher order thinking and differentiated learning. The lesson objective. So by the end of this session, participants will be able to remember, firstly, list the six cognitive levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Understand. Explain the purpose and structure of Bloom's taxonomy hierarchy learning framework and apply. Write learning objective using verbs that clearly aligns with specific levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Then we have analyze, which examine existing lesson plans and identify activity that corresponds with Bloom's level. Evaluate, critically assessing whether a lesson plan addresses low order or high order thinking. Create, design a mini lesson plan incorporating lesson activities aligned with at least four cognitive levels including higher order thinking. Now let's go to our introduction. How do you currently decide what learning objective or activity you must include into the lesson? So I want to ask you, how do you actually do this? Do you just decide or do you just, you know, assume? Alright, Bloom's taxonomy helps organize learning from easy tasks to more complex tasks. It moved from basic recall to creating new ideas. There's six levels in the simple terms. First, remember, student recall basic facts, understand. Students explain ideas in their own words, apply. Students use what they learn to solve problems, analyze. Students break information into parts to see patterns and connections. Evaluate. Students make judgment based on the criteria and evidence. And lastly, create. Students combine ideas to make something new. The purpose of Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy helps teachers plan lessons in a clear, organized way. It guides us from simple learning tasks to deeper, more complex thinking. It makes learning goals easy to set and explain to students. It supports higher order thinking and not just memorizing or what we know as cramming. It helps us to choose activities and assessment that matches the level of thinking we want to each student. Now the structure of the Bloom's taxonomy, we have a diagram here that will actually, give you a visual understanding of it. The taxonomy has six levels, arranged from the simplest to the most complex. It begins with remembering where students recall basic facts. Then it moves to understanding and applying, where students explain and use knowledge. The high-level analyze, evaluate, and create require deeper thinking and more independence. Each level builds on one before it. It helps students to grow step by step in this process. So without Bloom's taxonomy, our lesson cannot be covering or, keeping in mind fulfill all of our objectives. Here is where I'll hand the panel now to Ms. Veda, whereby she will continue the presentation.
Thank you, Ms.Persaud. Now I will be talking about writing learning objectives. When writing learning objectives, it is important to choose verbs that show exactly what level of thinking students should use. Bloom's taxonomy helps us to match the right verb to the right cognitive level. For example, Remember, uses verbs like list, define, identify. Understand uses verbs like explain, describe, summarize. Apply uses verbs like use, demonstrate, solve. Analyze uses verbs like compare, categorize, examine. Evaluate uses verbs like judge, justify, assess. And create uses verbs like design, develop, construct. Using these verbs makes objectives clear, specific, and measurable. It also ensures that your lesson targets the correct level of thinking from simple recall to higher order thinking. This helps teachers plan activities and assessments that match the learning intention. To examine existing lesson plans, review each activity and determine which level of Bloom taxonomy it matches. For example, activities that ask students to recall facts align with remember, tasks that have students explain ideas align with understand, and activities require students to compare or break down information align with analyze. This process helps ensure the lesson includes tasks from both lower order and higher order thinking skills. So here you can see we have a video on Bloom's taxonomy lesson plan, and in your own time you can go through this. Alright, and here we have a lesson plan on hurricane. So what you can do is click the link and that will take you to the lesson plan. So moving on, as you can see here, we have a short video of the lesson plan. So in your own time, please feel free to click on the video and look at the video so that you can be able to see how to do a lesson plan. Here we are looking at evaluate. To critically assess a lesson plan, check whether it includes activities that cover both lower order thinking, like remembering and understanding, and higher order thinking, like analyzing, evaluating, and creating. This means looking at each task to see if it only asks students to recall information or it challenges them to think deeply, solve problems, make judgments, or create new ideas. Okay, so now we will be looking at objectives, strategy, and assessment. Importance of aligning objectives. This makes learning goals clear for both the teacher and the students. It ensures the lessons are focused and purposeful. It also helps students to know what they are expected to learn. Now we will be looking at the importance of aligning strategies. Teaching activities match the learning goals. Lessons become more organized and effective. Supports different learning needs through intentional planning. And now we will be looking at the importance of aligning assessments. Assessments measure exactly what was taught. It ensures fairness and consistency, and it also helps track whether students met the learning objectives. Alright, so here is where we will have the class activity and where we will be distributing the uh, activity sheets. Here we have a short video of an activity sheet, and in your own time you can take a look at that. Now we're moving on to the conclusion, and in conclusion, Bloom's taxonomy helps us to plan lessons that move students from basic recall to deeper thinking and creativity. By understanding each level and choosing the right verbs, activities, and assessments, we can design lessons that are clearer, more engaging, and more effective. When we apply Bloom's taxonomy well, we support stronger learning and help students develop real long lasting skills. Thank you for your time, and here are our references, and thank you for watching at our presentation. See you until next time.